Alright, hello everyone. I just want to go ahead and show you all how we are going to deal with a phone that's in bootloop mode, or perhaps we've deleted an app that we didn't intend to delete. If you've watched my first video, you learned how to make a full backup of the phone, and we've got that whole backup here in this folder called Android 10 firmware. I've showed you how you can back up the how you can go ahead and back up the QCN number, so you don't lose your QCN number, and that's also, you'll find that in one of your folders as well. I forget where that's located, but make sure you've done those steps of backing up your QCN and your whole phone. And then if you do run into trouble, you'll be able to reflash the firmware like I'm going to show you today. And we're not going to reflash the whole firmware. We just need to get some of our apps back so that I can get some, the Google Play Store in particular, so I can download an app that I need to download, and then I'll be able to delete the Google Play Store. So what I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do is reflash it. Remember, we have Flash Tools still located in the C disk. Open your Flash Tools here. This time I've created, to restore all of the apps I've got 6. We're going to get these six images out of our firmware folder. We need to get OEM A and B. We need to get System A and B. And we also need to get vendor A and B. We're going to take those, copy them, and bring it right back over to our main folder, paste them right here, and it's going to take a couple minutes to complete that. Now we need to, while we're waiting on that, we need to go ahead and get our cable and plug it into the computer. Make sure you've got the right cable, because as we learned in our as I learned when I was first doing this, the right cable makes a big difference as to whether or not we're going to be able to flash this in EDL mode. So what it means to flash in EDL mode is we're going to put the phone into emergency download mode, and I'll show you how to do that. And we will do that by inserting the plug here and plugging into the computer. There's actually 3 ways of doing it. I'm going to go ahead and show you, talk about all of them. But before we do that, we need to make sure that we have the bootloader unlocked. We do that down here in the system settings. Make sure that you have the build number. You have to open developer settings here. You have to back out of there. Come back up to system, click here, and you're going to click on developer options. You're going to scroll down in developer options and make sure that you have OEM unlocking selected. We're going to need to click allow. And now we also need to scroll down and make sure that we have debugging selected, and we want to click always allow from this computer. And that's it in the developer options. You can get out of there and it's still copying our firmware into the main folder. Just one last thing is, if you're going to use any of our boot images or any of the image from our firmware, make sure that you have the exact same build number, and you're going to see it right down here, 10.34.03. That's our build number for the firmware on this phone. Come out of there. Now there's 3 ways to put it into EDL mode. You can first you could shut it off, and then you would push down on all 3 of these buttons, your power button and both of your your volume plus and your volume minus. You would hold all 3 buttons down together until the phone turns on, and then you would see the Sonim logo for the Sonim XP8 flash on the screen, and then you would keep holding it, and then the screen would go blank, and then you would be able to see it in your device manager. We're going to look at our device manager here. You'll see it come up in EDL mode in your device manager. It'll be under the COM port. That will be in a minute. But what I want to also talk about is the second way you can boot it into EDL mode. You can also, let's get up our another folder here. You can go here into, remember the C disk, I had you copy the platform tools. You can open this up, and I will show you, this is the method we'll be doing today in platform tools, and I'll show you the whole process there, but you have to get that open and get that ready to go. The third method is probably the easiest, and that's to go into the Magisk that you've already downloaded and should be on your screen if you have root. Click there, and up here click that icon and click reboot to EDL. Now wait to do that until you're absolutely ready to flash your firmware, because you have only 30 seconds to load the Firehose programmer, and I will show you how to do that. Now get your instructions up that are in the download on the description of the video. This is the original root instructions that I put on the video, and here you're going to find, let's close this, you're going to scroll down to there, and it's going to be down in, after the backup, it's going to be in this establishing the root section. However, we're going to modify it a little bit. Instead of flashing Magisk overwrite here in 3B, we're going to start today in 3B, and we're going to load the Firehose programmer here, and then in 3C, instead of Magisk overwrite, we're going to go ahead and let's get into our flash folders again. We're going to go ahead and use Reflash. Reflash is going to be our thing. That's going to be our file that we're going to use. So let me go ahead and show you how to do this. Looks like we're almost complete. We've got all our firmware, all 6 of these in the folder. As you can see, make sure they're all fully downloaded before you start this process. Let's go ahead and get started here. I'm going to show you this, how to get this thing going. Let's get this. First, hold down Shift, right click on the screen, open in PowerShell window here. Over here you want to copy your Firehose programmer. Go ahead and copy, and we're going to go ahead and push period backslash paste, and that's our Firehose programmer. So once I get this into EDL mode, I want to load this as quick as possible, remembering to get that COM port populated with the correct COM port. Let's go ahead and get this thing into EDL mode. I'll show you how to do it. Over here, platform tools, over on the right, and flash tools on the left. So on the right is platform tools. We're going to do the same thing and open up a PowerShell window by holding down on Shift, right click, open PowerShell window here. Now remember, we've got that debugging set on the screen, which is good. We're going to do /adb devices. We're going to type that, and you'll see the device come up on the screen. Next, we're going to go ahead and type /adb reboot EDL. That's going to kill the phone, as you're going to notice. It's going to kill the phone when I hit enter. Now we're going to move quickly to get our fire hose. The screen went black. Now we need to go to the device manager and check the COM port number. You'll see it right there, COM port. It's COM7. Let's get over here to the other program, or close out the other one and back up, enter 7, and then hit enter. Success. Your files were transferred successfully. That is good news. We can go ahead and close out the platform tools. Let's go ahead back into the instructions that I published. And we want to see what we're flashing. This is the actual command that we're loading, FH in 3C of the instructions. Copy that. Now remember, there's two things we need to change in this. And we're going to enter /paste that command in. We need to change the file name back to Reflash. It needs to say Reflash .xml. And then we need to change the COM number to be COM7, which is the COM port that we're working off of. Now we can hit enter, and this is going to reflash our phone with all the firmware. As you can see, firmware is being flashed. To the phone. This is going to take a few minutes. These are large files, but as soon as it's done, the phone will turn back on, and we should see all the original apps there, and we can go ahead and retry our deleting what needs to be deleted. So the method I'm using is the method that was compiled by some of the technicians on XDA, on the XDA Forum. They did all the work to find out how to flash the firmware on these Sonim XP8 phones. It probably works on Sonim XP5 and XP10. I don't know. I haven't tried it out. Remember, do this all at your own risk. You have the potential to brick your phone, to hard brick it, meaning it will not recover, and if that happens, you will not be able to use the phone again. If you soft brick it, usually the method I'm showing you here does work, but just make sure that you follow the instructions and read. I've done a lot of reading, but the people who on XDA put a lot more time and effort into this to make sure that this would all work. remember, if you have another phone, a different type of phone that doesn't have a Qualcomm driver, you're going to need to use some other method. What I'm showing you is only specific to Sonim and Qualcomm phones. There are other software suites out there, like you can see. I will show that to you here in like QFill, and we have installed that, and QPST. You can try those and download those as well. QFill is a simple basic, but you're going to need to have a patch file and a raw program. The same thing for this QPST tools, which is going to be right here. QFill and QPST. Those are not the best tools. They're harder to work with. They may be easier for you, but I'm just showing you the method that I've been using. Now, I do want to show you what this is copying. Remember, we put reflash.xml in the when we initiated our command. What that is doing is that's drawing from this XML file right here called Reflash, and I'll show you when this is finished what's in that folder. It is basically gives the computer the command to draw these six, to flash these six OEM A and B, system A and B, and vendor A and B, and flash those onto the phone. Okay, we are on vendor A. Finishing up our last file right here. It's completed. Success. All finished successfully. And we should see the phone turn back on. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and open up this Reflash folder that I was telling you about. As you can see it has all of the System A, System B, Vendor A. All six are called here, and they all have their own start sector number. You don't want to flash the wrong start sector with the wrong image. And we got all this information from the original raw program that was generated. If you followed our instructions back step 2, when we initiated the backup, GPT console by the COM number, and then we hit this command, it generated this raw program which has everything in that folder. Everything is in there. That's what pulls the image files. So you copy those out of there, drag them into this folder. This is where all of the actual image files are stored, but we drag what we need into here, and then we flash it with this Reflash XML file. You make that XML file by just using a notepad, clicking Save As, and then in Save As, sorry, this phone is starting up. As you can see, it started up. But let me finish telling you about this. Here in Save As, you would do reflash period XML, and that'll turn it into an XML document. Save it back in your, everything has to be saved in this Flash Tools. Alright, let's go ahead and see what this looks like. Looks to me like we got our Google app back, we got the Play Store back, which if we open it, we should be able to sign in, and it looks like it's going to work. And then we'll be able to download the apps we need, close that out, and uninstall it again in the way I'll show you if you've already seen our root deleting video using the root browser, the method that I documented in the root browser deletion video, how you delete the apps in the root browser, and then you go into the app folder and uninstall and restart. Alright, this is the end of our video here today. Thank you for watching, and look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you. Bye.